Welcome to Bed and Bread. Thanks for joining us today. We have a great show for you. As a lot of you knows, condo hotels are kind of a thing down here in South Florida. It's a place where investors, plop down money, usually foreigners, to have a home in South Florida in the Miami area. In the 80s, the wave of conversions on Miami Beach from those old hotels to now condo hotel units happened in the 2000s. The first real big wave of new build or purpose built condo hotels happened, and it keeps going on and on. In the 2010s, that wave was renewed, and condo hotels started getting built everywhere in Brickell, Coconut Grove, Miami Beach, you name it, all over. Well, today we have a great guest and a developer and actually our partner, Sofla Vacations partner at the New Avenue Hotel in Coral Gables, Florida. It's a beautiful, brand new boutique hotel property built by developer Oscar Roger and Roger Development, and today Oscar Roger Jr. And we'll talk a little bit about their company and about this beautiful new development, the Avenue Hotel in Coral Gables, in a minute right here on Bed and Bread. Oscar, thanks for joining us today on Bed and Bread. I met your father, Oscar Roger. You're Oscar Roger Jr. I met your father, and I was really taken aback by sort of your family history. Tell us a little bit about your family business, how long you've been in business, and sort of how you all got into the development business.
Sure. Yeah, so I'm the third. So the business started with my grandfather, whose name's Oscar as well. Um, and he started the business actually in Cuba, in Havana, Cuba. He started doing some developments there, and at the same time, he had a lot of projects that he was doing across the state of Florida, in Orlando and all over. And they were more based on there were big land developments that he would cut into parcels, sell the parcels, construct some of the parcels, and that was more of the positioning of how everything started. And that started in 1955. So actually, this year it was a great anniversary year for 70 years old.
70
Yeah,
years old. I mean, that's an amazing legacy. And now you've got a new legacy with the Avenue Hotel. I mean, it's a amazing property. As I said at the beginning of this program, I'm your partner now, like it or not, Oscar.
yeah.
I'm your partner, and in operating that end of the business, the hotel management. But tell us how that the whole Avenue Hotel came about. When did your family purchase the property? Why a condo hotel? Give us a little background on the Avenue Hotel.
Sure, definitely. So, going also kind of in line with family history, when my dad took over the business, he moved more into the luxury condo market, right? And that's what's been our bread and butter for, a pretty long time. And then when we came across this site, it's been about 2015, is when we got this site, and we've been debating, okay, well, what do we do with it? Obviously condos was one of our first you know look ats, given that that's what we mainly do. And in kind of really assessing the markets, Coral Gables, what's in need, um and really with that particular location, I mean, I still believe larger condominiums and um, uh, primary homes there would still be a nice product. But given the mall and everything that it has to offer, and with the lack of transient type of use in that area, we were thinking, how can we accommodate that? We developed another building. It was the first building in that area. Um, my dad actually had done a big rezoning or comp plan overlay to this area of Merrick Park, which allowed for residential use. Before it was just commercial and industrial zoning, so it was more warehouses and things like that.
Yes.
And since then, there's been a number of projects with that kind of uh, positioning for condos. And he said, okay, well, with this piece of property, how can we be different? You know, how can we service uh, kind of an untapped market in the Gables? Yes, there are other hotels here, but there's not a condo hotel. And the advantage
Right.
with the condo hotel, the way that we saw it, is that these are they're full apartments. There's a need. Coral Gables is uh, it's an incredible city. It's growing leaps and bounds. The amount of businesses that are coming here, both national companies, international companies, these mega players are opening their offices here. Um, and
You got a major university.
major, exactly,
You've got all sorts of of embassies there and
absolutely.
whatnot. So yeah, you're right. And that type of product doesn't really exist in Coral
It doesn't,
Gables.
and what does exist is a more traditional hotel rooms, or they need to be
Right.
outside of the city limits, right? So, where a lot of these businesses, they might have some execs or whoever coming to stay in Miami for a week, 2 weeks, 3 months, however long it may be. Living out of a hotel room could be kind of uncomfortable. So, what we wanted to do was cater to that market that allows, and not just for businesses, obviously for families or for just someone looking for that extended comfort of having, you know, your individual bedroom, a living room, a kitchen, a washer dryer, everything, cooking utensils, and everything you would need to live comfortably during your stay is really something that we wanted to position ourselves with. Um,
Yeah, and I think being on the footsteps of 740,000 square feet of retail in the shops of Merrick Park, I mean, literally right across the street from the street entrance of Neiman Marcus, where the property is quite a benefit for anyone that's vacationing. They got to look at that as a major benefit to staying at that location.
Absolutely, and yeah, talking about the mall, I mean, it's a no brainer with that because now with someone that maybe is unfamiliar with the city, has everything at their fingertips, quite literally across the street. It's not just the high end shops, but there's plenty of dining options. There's a high end movie theater, a dine in movie theater.
Yes.
There's Equinox, Soul Cycle. It's super convenient for whoever wants to stay there. To again be have a very comfortable stay. With everything so accessible.
Yeah, you mentioned that you guys looked at the Coral Gables market when you bought this land in 2015, and you realized that this type of product, this condo hotel product, doesn't really exist in Coral Gables. Coral Gables has been notoriously anti sort of vacation rental over the years. I've been in the vacation rental business for 14 years now. It's one area we've always stayed away from because they just haven't been friendly towards vacation rentals. How were you guys able to convince that city and that government to allow you to put this type of product at that location?
So I completely understand what the city's position with this type of product because we've seen it with in other cities, other product. Um, it can turn into um, I don't want to say the Wild West, but it there
The
could
Wild West. That's
yeah
that's
it
probably the
could
best
be
way to say
yeah
it. Yes.
there's a certain loss of control with how
Yes.
certain things could be set up in many of these places. I know from personal experience how that can be. So the that was a key factor in doing this as a condo hotel versus what people would consider a traditional short-term rental. A traditional short-term
Right.
rental, that would be with in most places that I've experienced, they just give you a code to a lockbox. And, no one's there to meet and greet you. If you have an issue, you have to go through an app. There's no um control or oversight, at least on like such an on-demand experience like you would experience in a hotel. And that was the main part where, we have someone at the front desk 24 hours a day. If there's an issue, whether someone is visiting or living, or if it's a maintenance issue, whatever it may be, there's always someone there to um, to help assist in the situation. Even, it happens quite often, especially on Miami Beach, where you have these big event weekends and people are uh, getting a little too party
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
hallways at
No.
3 in the morning. And,
Yeah. We've
if
seen it.
imagine, just imagine what we were talking about earlier. You're here with your family, or you're here on business, and you're trying to sleep, and next thing you know, you have people partying in the room next to you, or down the hallway, and you have no one to call. It's an awful experience, and that, I believe, is what Coral Gables, why they're so um, stern on not allowing that type of product there, because that's not the type of experience that um, the city wants their guests to experience. You know,
Yeah, which is understandable. So the control, the fact that you guys are able to control the guests' experience, control the guests coming in and out,
absolutely,
security on site,
yeah,
that was all that the city really needed to say, okay, let's, because at the end of the day, really, this type of product's very good for the city. It's very
absolutely,
good for the businesses in that area that are going to benefit from these people coming into town and spending money.
yeah,
I mean, people spend a lot of money when they're on vacation.
absolutely,
One of the things that resonated me with me, Oscar, and we're talking with Oscar Roger from Roger Development regarding the Avenue Hotel, newest condo hotel, luxury condo hotel product here in South Florida. One of the things that resonated with me when I first met you guys was how well and successful you guys sold the product. And kudos to Severa Realty. That was the realtor that you guys use, the real estate company you use to get buyers for this project. What do you think caused it to be so successful? And who is the prototypical buyer for this type of a product, a condo hotel like this for you guys there specifically at the Avenue?
yeah. So, I would say investors, definitely. There was a few people that were looking to purchase, and did, to live there full time. Just given the sheer nature of the product itself, its location, its central location within the Gables and in the city of Miami. But yeah, majority of the buyers here are investor based.
Yeah, and it was amazing to me how Cervera Realty, the company that you use to sell the product, was able to network with real estate companies outside of the United States and Colombia and Brazil and Mexico and other areas, Central America, up in the Northeast and Midwest. We're able to really get the word out globally about this project and what's considered the Beverly Hills of South Florida, which is Coral Gables. So, what tell us a little bit about like some of the benefits that, and I know what they are because we deal in this type of product with investors, just like you mentioned. But explain to the people watching the show what some of the benefits are for them if they ever decide to invest in a condo hotel type product of this
Yeah,
nature.
and first, big thanks to Cervera. They did an amazing job on the project. We're very happy with them, and and they loved the project. So when they love the project, they're going to, you know, do a great job in that as well. So it
Yeah,
really speaks to
absolutely.
a special project that we have. But yeah, I think with the investors, some of the maybe the key benefit is just the flexibility. You know, so typically when someone buys a unit, with the intent of renting it out or leasing it out, you have the restriction of an annual rental. So,
Right.
you're getting uh, uh, if you are in England or in Colombia, or somewhere, and you invested here in Miami, you know that's great. But when you come to visit, you're going to have to stay in, a hotel or something like this.
Yeah, you gotta
You got
find
to
a
find a
place to
place.
stay. You ain't staying in a place that you
Yeah.
rent by the year, that's for
Or
sure.
you
Right.
either stay in a hotel or you're buying now another property for you to use and use sporadically, maybe through the year, depending on your situation. But, with what we have, we offer the flexibility of for this type of person, um, really anybody, but for this, especially this international type of investor, it allows them to give you guys a call, and say, "Hey, Andy, I'm going to be in Miami, January 15th to the 25th. I'll be there for 10 days. I'd like to have my place for those days. Please take me out of the rentals." And then, boom, on the 26th, we already have it rented. The plan is to have it rented and get right back into it with I don't want to say the rental pool, but with the rentals. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, that is one of the biggest benefits to vacation renting a property, whether it's a condo, hotel, or anywhere, is the flexibility of being able to use it when you need it or when family members or friends need it. I mean, that is certainly the biggest benefit. So, the other side of it is, and talking from my perspective, is the return. Typically, the returns are going to be much greater. Why? Because you're renting by the night, not by the year. And we know how pricey hotel rooms are in South Florida. So if you got a 2-bedroom beautiful condo at the New Avenue and you could put 4 6 people in that condo, I mean, imagine how much those hotel rooms are going to cost you. We did, you saw, Oscar, we did a whole price comparison, and boy, those hotels in Coral Gables are certainly
Yeah.
pricey. So yeah, there's all that
All
benefits. I'm
No,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
and
I'm
all
sorry.
that benefit, and again, these competing hotels that we have, um, they're just hotel rooms. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they're beautiful hotels.
Beautiful hotels.
It's
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely at a caliber that we need to be at.
Yes.
To deliver that same type of experience, but we have the full apartment, and that's really what's going to separate us from some of these other hotels in the market. And then going again back to that flexibility, you have basically, as the investor, you have three options. You can live the unit, you can rent the unit out for a longer period of term, if you'd like, as a traditional way, or how we were earlier discussing that, you can put it in this hotel program, rent it on the days you don't need it, and on the days that you do, it's a simple phone call, and you have now your place, um, you know, nice and secure. And these units are fully furnished down to the forks and knives. I mean, it is. Uh, uh, we made this very extremely turnkey, for an easy
Yeah, I mean,
experience.
every apartment, the owners are taking those apartments fully furnished, fully equipped. I mean, really, all they need to do is bring a bag with their clothes, and they're ready to have a great week or weekend or whatever the case may be in South
Yeah, and that
Florida.
was that.
So
I
yeah,
remember we were talking about this, and that was a great kind of point to reiterate with what differentiates us, um, versus a lot of the other product that's out there, is that, let's say there's a building that allows for this type of use, and it's not controlled in the manner that we were talking about. Um, well, every time you book, there's a pretty big chance that you're going to have a different experience in any of the units, even down to the furniture and what's offered inside the unit. And what we did by
right.
furnishing the entire building down to, the cookware and all of that, is that you're always, as a hotel guest, you're always going to have a consistent experience. And we thought, and especially with talking with you, that having that consistency, is extremely important for the end user experience.
So as I mentioned, we are now your partner and in a company called the Avenue Hotel Management Group, or TAM. Um, I was immensely impressed when I went through that whole process because I know you guys vetted out companies. You chose ours to be your partner. We're very pleased with that, obviously. But I was very impressed with how focused, laser focused you guys were on trying to ensure that the people that bought into this building were going to get great service from a provider selling the rental nights, managing the guest experience, managing all of that goes into this thing, and then negotiating what is a fair rate. I mean, well below market rate for this type of service to someone that owns a condo hotel unit of this nature. What got you guys kind of, was it just to preserve the money for the investor, to preserve their investment, or what was it that got you guys really interested in being involved after the product sold out like that?
So, when it comes to that management and that involvement, when we were developing this project and deciding, okay, should we go down this route of the condo hotel? We saw an
Good.
opportunity, and we felt like this project, the Avenue, is something that we could really build into a brand. The building itself it's a beautiful building. You're always going to be a little bit biased to all the projects that you have, right? But this one in particular, I think, is a very special project, from the finishes to the exteriors to its location. It's a very special place, and having that opportunity, with, and even down to the branding, everything, we saw that this is something that we can expand on. We've been looking at other locations, um, through, Miami, South Florida. We're even looking in the Bahamas. Not to get too ahead of ourselves, but to expand this Avenue brand into repeat. So, for instance,
So that was I don't mean to interrupt you, but so that was the sort of the impetus of it. It's like, okay, we're going to develop this brand. It's called the Avenue Hotel. Here's our first location. We want to make sure that the experience, including the experience of the a hotel management program, was going to be a great experience, not only for the guests coming, but for the owners
yeah,
buying. Is that kind of the thought
yeah,
process?
absolutely, absolutely. We with wanting to do this as a brand and expand into different areas, different markets, having setting that bar and that expectation, and I think that's why, absolutely, we wanted to partner with you. We had spoken to several people, and I think we formed a great relationship here, and you know, having setting that bar for the unit owners, and uh, um, it builds confidence into the next project. I think a lot of these owners,
Yes.
being investor based, will see, let's say the Avenue Miami Beach. We were talking about Miami Beach earlier, and some of the issues with the product out there, right? Um,
Yes.
the Avenue Miami Beach, we can assemble a following with current owners, or even people that end up staying at the Avenue as a hotel guest, when they see an opportunity to, the Avenue Miami Beach, the Avenue Aventura, Fort Lauderdale, wherever it may be. Um, I want to be a part of that, because look at this experience that I am having right now as a guest here. I am confident that if I were to invest in a piece of property at this location, that the people that are running it are putting in everything that they need, um, to ensure that the guests have, that premier experience, and having repeat clientele. It was very important to us. If we were going down that route, we needed to do, all the T's crossed, i's dotted, and becoming in very conservative, but also uh, correct. Um,
Yeah, and I think you guys hit. I mean, listen, from the perspective of what the product you produced, it's premier. 48 residential units, I think 7 or 6 retail units. What impressed me when I came in to talk to you guys, to be quite blunt, was not just the product, but it was how you were focused on after the product was delivered. Most developers, they build the product, here, take it, sayonara,
yeah,
I'm out of town. Okay. They take their big bag of money and they go. And so with you guys, it was clear to me from the start that you wanted to develop a brand. I know that you and your dad devoted some of the real estate on the property for the hotel program that you personally owned. I know that when I negotiated with you guys what the fee for the hotel program should be to the owner, it's customary in Miami. 40 to 50% on a hotel program of this nature is customary, that the hotel keeps 40 to 50% plus expenses. That wasn't the case. You guys were really hammering on, we got to get that number down. We got to make this work for the investor. And why? Because you guys wanted to build number 2 and number 3
yeah,
and number 4 and keep that brand
exactly. No, and
going.
we have a tremendous value for any of our purchasers, right? And we want to continue that relationship afterwards, especially with this type of product that we want to be involved, into uh, uh, involved with the project for this one and into the next one and the others. It's
Yeah, and it's great for in your family legacy, your grandfather, now your father, now you. Your father and I are kind of old dogs, right? Salty dogs at this point. But you're the young pup, just like my son works in our business with me. And it's something for you guys to really, sink your teeth into for the
yeah.
future, I
Yeah, no, and
believe.
it's the best. I mean,
Um,
I think having a family business, it could be, a lot of people don't like it. There's people that they just don't do that. But when it comes to us, it's, no matter what, at the end of the day, hey, I'll see you this weekend when we all go out to dinner with the family. You know what I mean? And I know it's just
right.
blind trust. We have each other's backs. Like, let's go. And it's funny you said legacy, and that was something yeah, my dad and I we'll talk about. And it's pretty cool about the business that we're in. It's incredibly difficult business. That is something I've always grown up around development, but until I really got into the weeds of it, yeah, it's tough business, but it's very satisfying um, when you're driving around town and you see something there that you created. It's something that's not going to be there
Yes.
temporarily. Having art murals and things like that, I love it around the city. But those things, they change over time. These buildings are going to be around for
Yes.
decades. Who knows? And especially with the building quality
Yes.
now, I mean, they could be there 100 years and stuff. And
Yes.
so it's cool leaving pieces of legacy throughout town. And it's awesome. I can't say it any other way.
Yeah, and kudos to you guys again for getting the city of Coral Gables on board with this. The first condo hotel in Coral Gables in over 50 years. I think the David Williams was the last one that was actually put up in Coral Gables back in the
Mhm.
70s. What if you were going to guess, where would the next product be? Where would the next
Oh,
avenue be?
um, that's a tough question. I mean, we do have another project that we're about to launch. Um, it's too soon. I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves yet, but
Okay.
I'm pretty.
Okay.
I'll say I'm pretty pumped about it. It's in the Gables. It's in Coral Gables. But we're
Great.
looking. We'd absolutely love to do something in right on our neighbor side in Coconut Grove. But same, we've looked in Fort Lauderdale and Aventura. Um, and all over. But the key needs to be, its location. As they say, real estate, location, 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 right? It's most important. Um,
Yes.
but for this type of
Yes.
branding, it's, we're not going to put it on, just because the street's busy. It needs to have that level of accessibility like what the current avenue has. That's what we really like to deliver: proximity to some sort of action, whether it's dining or the mall or something like that, would be a key kind of emphasis we would like. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think that yes, because the Avenue is a smaller boutique property, so you're not gonna necessarily have the grandiose type of amenities that a 50-story building, let's say, like the Icon on
yeah,
Brickell would have. So the immediate area formulates, although the Avenue, I mean, beautiful rooftop pool with cabanas, 24-hour front desk. You guys built the property with no parking, but were able to garner parking and valet through the city of Coral Gables by deeding parking spots in a garage literally right across the street that the city has been underutilizing for, I don't know, 30
yeah,
years or something. So it's the location's super important. So somebody can walk out that front door and be at a movie theater at Shops of Merrick Park, or be in a beautiful restaurant or a bar or a gym or something in the
yeah, and
immediate
that's
area.
what we want. We didn't
So
want to be um, just to check off the boxes of what's needed in this hotel or this grandiose type of thing. That's not the positioning that we really wanted. We wanted, like you said, be this like a boutique product that when people come here, they feel like they're at a home, that they're at their home during that experience, and we really
right.
wanted to into lean the building into that concept versus, checking the box off of having, you know, a small gym with a couple of dumbbells in there that, you know, uh, eh, would never compare to Equinox that we have across the street. Yeah.
Literally across
So,
the street.
we really wanted to lean into that then instead of okay, well, what do we need? Let's just check the box, get it in there. Who cares if it fits, and move forward. We really wanted to be uh precise with everything and what's most important for everybody. Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, certainly precise is an understatement. You guys really hit the ball out of the ballpark, as one would say, with this project. The beauty of it, the location, and I'm eager, to get the obviously the hotel program. I want to congratulate you and your father, Oscar
Thanks.
Roger, as well. Today the TCO came in, so we're ready to rock and roll and start taking people, guests into the hotel. Reservations have come in already, although we haven't even really marketed it yet,
Amazing.
which is amazing to me. It really is. So kudos to both. Well, any parting words you want to tell people? I mean, we're here on Bed and Bread, and we talk about, how to maximize your investment on a short-term rental property. I think you guys have done it by formulating a management company for the hotel that you develop. Very unique concept. And again, kudos to you guys. So any parting words you want to leave us with?
Definitely, yeah. Well, come check out the Avenue. It's a very special product. It's very special to us. um you know it's important to us that everyone that stays there has an amazing experience. I think um shoot, there was a few things I was gonna say. Do you mind setting that up one more time?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Good. You ready? Well, so Oscar, tell me, it's kudos to you. We've got the TCO. We're ready to rock and roll. People are reserving this place already. It's an exciting time, I know, for you and your family. So exciting for us and our company to be involved in this great project. Any parting words you want to tell the viewers today about the Avenue and what's going to happen in the
Sure, yeah.
future?
Welcome to the Avenue. We're super excited to finally be opening up. I think there's going to be an amazing product. You know, we've put a lot of our heart and soul in this. This is a very personal project. You know, we're looking to extend that into more projects. You know, and continue this product going. So,
You know,
yeah, look, we're super excited. Happy to finally be opening up the doors. Excited for all the guests. I think everyone's going to have a tremendous experience there. You know, excited for the next one. We're definitely, you know, we've put in a lot of heart and soul into this to extend into more projects, into more avenues, and you know, really build this thing into something special and have, you know, repeat clients, repeat guests. I think everyone is going to love it. So yeah, stay tuned and, you know, welcome to the Avenue, and we'd love to see you there soon. Yeah.
well, I'm sure that the next one, if it even is 10% as amazing as this one, it will be tremendously amazing. So I congratulations to you and your family on doing this. Congratulations, I want to point out to Willie Bermeo, the architect that put this plan together. You know, kudos to him on an amazing job with it, with this a hotel, this condo hotel, and of course again to Cervera Realty for selling it the way they did. And hey, I'm looking forward to getting that management program started and getting visitors in, and I can't wait. I'm salivating for the next Avenue Hotel. The local brand. This is going to be Miami's unique and local condo hotel brand. And I'm just so tickled
Yeah.
pink to be a part of
Exciting.
it. So Oscar Roger Jr., thank you so much for joining us here on Bed and Bread. And we'll get a recap from you or your dad maybe in the future as to how things are going. Maybe we'll even interview some of the owners to get their impression on how their experience has been, you know, 3, 4, 6 months down the road once they've really experienced being an owner at the Avenue Hotel. But thanks again, Oscar, for joining us on Bed and Bread, and you
Awesome.
have
You
a
too.
great
Thank you.
day.
Exciting. Exciting news.
All
Yeah.
right.
All right.
All
Thanks.
right. Thank you. Take care. Thanks for joining us here on Bed and Bread. We loved educating you on the short term rental and vacation rental business. And we just introduced to you a brand new condo hotel, well, maybe one of the most unique in our community. And there's more of those coming as there will be more Bed and Bread episodes coming to you in the near future. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on Bed and Bread.